Hey everybody, Shabba Nobody Else's Auto. Got another piece of super cool inventory to check out tonight. 1937 Oldsmobile. Now, there are actually two different 1937 Oldsmobiles. This car is an 8-cylinder. They also made a 6-cylinder. I have a 6-cylinder in stock as well. But they look completely different. They had a whole different nose and everything. So this one, with this big egg crate style grille, is an 8-cylinder. 6-cylinder had bars that went across side to side. So that's how you can always tell the difference between a 37 Oldsmobile, whether it's a 6-cylinder and 8-cylinder, because the entire nose is different. Now, this old car's been sitting for a really long time. I got it in a big group of cars I bought last year, but I just finally got this one picked up. And it's obviously weathered, been sitting outside for a long time. Now, some of these pieces were actually stored inside of another car that came with this deal. The grille and the side panels, the headlights, all that stuff has been inside for years. Just got it back out and kind of propped it up on there. Really looks pretty cool after we did that. So let's take a look at this old Oldsmobile. Starting right here at front, obviously the signature shot, the nose of this thing. Now, like I said, this being an 8-cylinder car, it's got this big, heavy pot metal egg crate style grille here. If this was a 6-cylinder, it would have bars that would go side to side. Not nearly as elaborate as this. Big, cool Oldsmobile badge up here. Even says Oldsmobile in real tiny print across the top. Wings out over the grille. Ornament right up on top. Something missing off the top of this ornament, but still a neat piece and a very unique nose. Has these big shields on each side of the grille, right below the headlight pods. Headlight pods even have stainless streaks down them as well. Front bumper I've got sitting here on the ground. It was off the car, actually sitting inside of it. Very, very unique bumpers on this car. It's got the big 8 right here in the front. It's got very ornamental guards with shields on each side of the guard. A lot of guards back then were just the basic guards sticking up. These were actually a wide fanned out guard with shields on each side. Very ornamental, very pretty. Not necessary, but very pretty. Of course, this being an 8-cylinder, it's a little bit fancier car. All those little touches are what really made them stand out. We come around this side of the car. We see it has grills that on the sides of the hood panels that somewhat mimic the front grille itself. And we can see those on both sides of the car. And it even has a little stainless trim that goes along here. We can peek inside here. I haven't found the hood yet. I don't know if it's in one of the other cars or still laying there. We can see this big flathead 8-cylinder that they had back then. Obviously, this one's been exposed to the elements for a long time and probably not any good, but we can get an idea of what this big, huge flathead Oldsmobile engine looked like. Another thing we can see right here, we've got the Olds Motor Works tag. One thing about GM cars in this era, we can always tell the year style number, 37-. So that's the first 2 digits are the year on these and then the model number. So we come around over here to the other side of the car, we see the same thing. We've got this big grill in the side over here. Like I said, these panels, headlights, all this stuff was loose, stored in another car. I just kind of got it out and laid it all out here to see what I had in it. We've got some more of the trim inside the car as well. We still have the Fisher body tag right here on the side of it. Kind of a neat little piece. Running boards, fenders, moldings, very ornamental door handles even. If we look at these door handles, they actually have steps as it broadens out at the end. And also the same thing on the end where you grab. It gets fatter and steps out as it goes to the end of it. Super unique, all kinds of little tiny details that back in the 30s were a big deal. It's what made these cars stand out. It's what made them unique. Styling, Art Deco, very pretty. That's what they did. They did stuff that was going to catch the buyer's eye. Even these little tiny details on the door handles, for as crazy as it sounds. We work our way around the back of this old Oldsmobile. And we can see this was last tagged in 1948. As crazy as that sounds. So this car was only on the road for basically 11 years before it was parked. Has a big, massive pot metal trunk handle back here. Has a little tiny red reflector right underneath it. And on our trunk handle, we see the same thing as on the door handles. These little steps up here on the head of it and also down here where you grab where it steps out. All those little tiny details. Here on the rear bumper, the same thing as the front. We've got the big 8 badge. We've got these very ornamental, very broad, wide guards back here. And even the trunk hinges. The trunk hinges, amazingly, are not broken on this car. And we see the same thing, these little step down details. Both ends that match the door handles, the trunk handles, these little step downs where it broadens out. Like I said, no reason whatsoever for that other than to be ornamental and tie this car together all the way around. Over here on the driver's side, kind of more of the same. Car does look really solid. It was marked save years ago because I think where this car was stored at, they were cleaning some stuff up and hauling it off, so they marked this car years and years ago to make sure it didn't get hauled off. I've got a whole nother armful of trim that was actually I just found in one of the other cars from this load. So it looks like we've got the moldings that would have gone here along the side of the hood, the moldings for the other side that went around the trim panels, all that stuff here tied up in this bundle. Inside the car, once again, we see a lot of decoration and ornamentation. The steering wheel, we look at the little hash marks on the steering wheel here. There again, there's no reason for these to be here other than to make it pretty. The gauge lenses are broke, but it has the numbers still that are stamped into this metal. And here's something kind of odd. The defrost ducts actually mounted up on top of the dash, had a deflector for where there's a defrost duct in the dash, and actually had a deflector to make sure that that warm air got up to the windshield and got where it needed to be to do its job. So all kinds of crazy unique features. And we can look in the back here. Once again, we see not much left interior wise as far as soft trim. We do have seat springs, still have the rear ashtray in it. It had a big full length chrome grab bar back here on the back of the seat. A lot of cars back in this day just had a rope. This thing had a full chrome grab bar that went side to side and even encompassed the rear seat ashtray for the rear seat passengers. One thing we forgot to do, we forgot to peek in the trunk while we were here, because there's more parts in here. I haven't dug through all of this yet. All 4 original hubcaps are still here, which is crazy that after 85 years, over 85 years, pushing 90 years, all 4 hubcaps are still with this car. There's some of the windows. The windows are obviously broke. We've got the hard parts. The metal channels are there. Looks like you even have some original wheels still with this car. So this thing is really unique. You don't see these very often. It was a very, very pretty car. It was a very stylish car. And you can tell just with the detail they put into this nose and all this trim, just like these shields here that would mimic the shields on the bumper guards. No reason for those to be there whatsoever other than to look pretty. But that's why we love these cars from this era. They are so cool. They're so unique. They have such a great style. That's what we love about them. That's why we love to save them. This car probably beyond saving, but man, there are so many super hard to find pieces on this car that are definitely going to help save somebody else's 37 Oldsmobile. So neat car. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you got any questions about this particular Oldsmobile or any of the other 2,000 cars and trucks we've got here on the ground and nobody else's auto, just give me a call, 620-786-4428. That number is in the description on the page. Give me a short call. We can have a discussion about your project, year, make, model, body style, parts you need, or what you're looking for a project. See if I got anything here that might be able to fix you up there. But having that short conversation is really the only way to do it. Texts, emails, none of that works. None of it's ever complete enough for me to get all the information I need from you to see what I've got here with the amount of cars and trucks I've got on the ground. So give me a shout. Hope you enjoyed the Oldsmobile. Stay tuned. I've been buying a lot of cars and a lot of cool stuff coming in. We got a lot more cool videos coming up. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you swinging by, hanging out with me, checking out the super cool Oldsmobile. We'll see you soon on the next video.